Hello, hello. Hey, hey. Welcome to The Invisible Thread. I'm your host, Evelyn Block. Didn't think this would ever happen, but it did. And here we are. And I really couldn't be happier. It's quite the experience filming, recording solo. Quite the experience. So the podcast name, The Invisible Thread, has a lot of layers of meaning for me. There are myths and legends of red threads connecting people who are soulmates in the East, and gold threads that are woven around the earth to connect humanity. There are so many folkloric stories that really embody this imagery of the invisible thread. And I love that. I just love thinking about all of us as connected because we're alive on this living planet all together at the same time. And there are things that, I don't know, I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, you are probably of an age where you were some kind of mature being enough during 2020 to really feel the effects of collective happenings, like a global shutdown. I would say in 2020 was the year I turned 30. That was a really huge year for me in terms of like, boom, we are connected. This is undeniable. Yeah, undeniable. So this connection piece, the thread is the connection piece. Haha, hindsight's 2020, ain't it? When I look backwards from where I am sitting now, it's like all of these pieces are finally coming together. All of my questions and curiosities and why I wanted to dig and how I learn, even everything is storytelling. And now I get to sit here with you all and share those stories, my own and some pretty incredible stories with coming guests. I guess in my own life, a pretty major pivot came in college because I was going to school studying the arts. And in my pursuit of design, fine arts, that form of creativity, I just was always like, why? Like, I love painting, but where are my paints coming from and who's making them? I love fashion. I love design. Where are these fabrics coming from? I know how to repurpose my own items of clothing, but these original items of clothing, who made them? What are they made from? Where is that being grown? And that's a whole other line of connection, but everything leads back to people and the planet. People are cultivating crops and they are growing them in the earth, and that is happening somewhere on the planet. And oftentimes, the footprints of things we use every day is like far more complex than you could ever imagine, from like raw material to the creation of the thing to the getting the thing to you. There is a lot of hands and a lot of energy and a lot of dot connecting that goes on through that process. And as I was studying these arts, I was like, I am so curious about growing. Like, how do I do the root thing that these practices that I love originate from? So I pivoted. That was probably my first like real major pivot. Was I decided to pull out of art school and start studying agriculture and how communities are designed and functioning around the world. Upon graduating, worked on so many farms and in gardens and started doing my own design work through that process of farms for larger land plots or smaller properties to private residents, personal gardens, designing those as well. So fun, equally. Unfortunately, I continued to injure myself and my body over and over again, which is really hard. And finally, this last injury, which landed me on the floor of my apartment for a while, really, really humbled me. And I needed to reassess what I was doing because I'm a very hands-on person. If I'm going to be doing a design project with you and your landscape, I'm going to have my hands in the dirt. I'm going to be working with the team that's on site. I just can't do it. I thought I could try doing more remote design work and just like delegating, but I just so desperately want to be there doing the thing. It makes me feel so good. My body just can't hang, but we're working on it. Stronger than ever, feeling really good. Shout out to all the physical therapy I've been doing over the past few months, I'd say, was my next really big pivot. And in getting this injury, again, the greatest gift that came from this was time to reassess, time to figure out. I know there's something bigger for me. Honestly, I don't really want to get too spiritual here today in that, or yet, maybe. We'll see what happens. But I had just this undeniable gut feeling that there was something that I was missing, that I wasn't seeing, that had been there. And I just needed to follow that thread. And for me, again, storytelling, I had worked on a podcast already before. Using my voice was something that kept coming through. It's something that's really scared me before. And you know what? My bravery is bigger than my fear, baby. So I am just going for it. This last pivot, and as I'm moving into it, I'm like looking back and reflecting. And I'm so grateful for this like incredible tool belt that I've acquired over years of working in my life that I feel like has given me the really cool resume of a super multi hyphenate. And I would say most of the people around me and in my life are equally multi hyphenate creators in some capacity. I mean, how could you not be? Where we live in a world that's so dynamic. I feel like that's kind of required of most people. So here we are, all figuring it out, really all figuring it out together. Without totally going into the coming guest list for people I'll be interviewing and speaking to, everyone is so different. And I'm so excited about that. Everyone is in a different field, coming from a different place. Lots of different cities around the world are going to be represented. I am so grateful for everyone who agreed to be a part of this and trusts me enough with their stories and you all with this information. I mean, it's so valuable. It's how I learn and grow. I hope it is for you too. I feel like if you're here with me, it's probably true for you as well. But we'll be going into it. We have creativity to talk about, work to talk about, redirection, identity, place, all those things that influence our lives and all the twists and turns wrapped up in all of those things. Some of the conversations are a little heavier than others. depending on who we're talking to that day. And isn't that true for the world as well? You don't know until you know, and some things are really heavy. And that's kind of like these life rite of passage moments. And hopefully, these stories and conversations can really provide some insight to things that maybe you have not experienced before. I know that I have not experienced all the things that are being talked about, and it's been just a really, really cool process with a lot of people who, above all else, have learned to trust themselves as an authority in their life. And I think that that is so admirable. So I'm learning alongside everyone. Like through this whole experience, I'm learning alongside everyone. This is not an advice podcast. This is not a self-help situation. I am just so curious and I want to know as much as I can fit into my brain. And I just want to be in the presence of these people. And I really hope that you feel the same. And I'm always striving to ask better questions and go deeper. So we'll see what happens. And as we're all listening and learning and growing together, what a cool opportunity to explore the thread or threads in your own life. I know that these stories have definitely done that for me. They've definitely cracked me open and made me ask questions and had me sitting in awe and disbelief sometimes. But I think that that's pretty true for life as well. And again, beyond grateful. I'm beyond grateful to be doing this. I'm beyond grateful for having this slice of life to give this a go and see what happens. I'm grateful for everyone who showed up here today, for everyone who's listening, whether it's when this podcast episode drops or at whatever later date it might find you. I am so grateful, humbled, honored, however cliche all those things might be, all smashed up into a sandwich. Hand it over. Thank you for being here. This is only the beginning. I'm so excited. Here we go. Thanks again.